Hello and welcome to another week in life vlog. So I'm going to try and do a full week in life vlog this week. Yes, and as you can probably tell, no beanie hat today, so spring's kind of in the air, which is a big relief to me. So got the old flat cap out, first time in a long time. That's a good sign. Yeah, so plan for this week is kind of much the same as what I did 2 weeks ago when I did last week in life vlog. I'm going to start a week on Curry Exchange, see what I can earn as far as Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe Thursday, see how I get on. If we're getting on all right, I might stick on it still for Thursday. And then the last part of the week, so either Thursday, Friday, or just Friday. I might do a Saturday as well this week on the Amazon Flex. In some ways, it will be better to do the Flex beginning of the week, as somebody mentioned on that vlog, because the CX can be busier towards the end of the week. But because I did 2 days last week, Thursday, Friday on the CX, it won't allow me to do like 2 full days, Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday. So I'm kind of like stuck in that routine unless I have a week off, or maybe do a Monday, Friday, and then work the CX Tuesday through to Thursday. But anyway, and also end of last week I managed to book in a CX job for this morning, Monday morning, week commencing the 14th, I should have said, of March 2022. So it was, yeah, I definitely did the CX, because I had last Friday I was sat waiting to pick up I did a Morrison's block out of Bromsgrove on my way back from doing parcels in Droitwich, or from Droitwich, and I had a bit of a wait, so I was on the CX on the app looking at jobs for coming up today. I managed to get one, but I'll get to that. And that's partly why I don't think Fridays is actually a great day when it's quiet on the CX, because lots of places close for taking deliveries early on a Friday, and if you're trying to do small jobs locally, you need to be kind of available up until 5, sort of, working at least. Whereas if I'm working Monday to Friday and tramping, I'm just generally trying to get home on a Friday, so like try and make my money on there up to Thursday. So anyway, that's a plan for this week, and a bit of why I'm doing it that way. So yes, right, it's a bit of a shocker, even more of a shocker than last time I did this, or last week. Fuel price is just absolutely crazy at the moment, so to go through them, my UK fuels is 149.64 plus the VAT, and the BWC or Block one, which is their own card control for diesel, uses the Key Fuels network, slightly cheaper, 147.75, but still crazy expensive. So the cheapest one, the Block card with the VAT, is 177.3 pence a litre, which is just like unbelievable. So the last time I did a vlog, it was 122, which was, slightly higher than it has been lately, but, it's been around the 120 mark for a few weeks. Last week it went up to 131.5, my cheapest, and I say it's gone up another 16 pence this week, so 147.75. So yeah, 2 weeks ago it was 122.56, and now it's 147.75. So yeah, thanks very much, Mr. Putin. Obviously, fuel price is kind of a minor compared to everything else, implications of what he's doing, but I won't keep it too political. But obviously, very direct effect on people who work in transport, especially. And I did actually have a look, because in this book where my usual weekly summary at the back, I started doing it at the beginning of last year. It's quite interesting. I can look back. This time last year, the same week last year, like the second week in March, the fuel price was about 101 pence plus the VAT. So even 2 weeks ago it was like 19 pence more than it was last week, and then it's gone up even more. So where are we now? It was another extra 46 pence a litre plus VAT more than it was this time last year. So that's kind of like affected my strategy for this week as well, because the price is so high and the CX is still pretty quiet. I haven't been making the money when I've been doing distance jobs and willing to tramp. I don't see the benefit of tramping, or it's too quiet for tramping to really pay off. So I might as well stay home and just earn what I can, and then earn what I can doing the Amazon Flex in my car. So that's why I'm doing it as I am at the moment. So I'm hoping, well, I'll get onto that. So yeah, that was a bit of background on fuel prices and stuff. So the job this morning that I booked in end of last week, it was a short wheelbase van job, picking up in Oldbury, which is like 8 miles from where I'm based or whatever. It's 27 miles loaded down to Redditch, so 35 miles in total. Quoted 45 quid for it. I thought it was a bit steep, or ish steep. I put down I'm in a long wheelbase van, got it, handy, picking up at 8, went and picked it up just before 8. Tipped down in Oldbury before 9 or 9ish. So some early runs on the board there. And then it took me a little while to get another job. Eventually I picked up a Redditch job. I was like less than a mile from it. Small van going to B5 Birmingham, sort of within the CAS, but sort of like southeastern corner. Lots of like industrial buildings around that area. And that was one pallet again of from some engineering shop to some anodizing place, like coating for aluminium pieces. That was a small van job, and the first one was a short wheelbase job, but to be honest the loads were pretty much identical. €1 pallet, similar weight, like 200 kilograms or something. I got 30 quid for that, so I thought that's probably going to go for 25 quid in a small van. In good times I would just bid 40 quid speculative and think I might get it, but unlikely. Whereas now it's kind of, especially when I want to stay local, I'm just having to bid on small van jobs, kind of small van money or slightly more maybe, just doing what I can. So 30 quid, got it for 15 miles, so it's good on a pounds per mile thing, but obviously probably did only take me just over an hour, so not too bad really. Then I was in B5 Birmingham, sat there for probably 2 hours, a bit more maybe. And then job pinged up, picking up in Walsall, really close to my house, like a mile down the road. Picking up tonight, and then 2 drops in the morning in West Brom. So it was about 15 miles to get back up here. It was getting me home, obviously. Do the pickup, park outside. I'm parked just up the road from my house now. And then I got to do drops tomorrow between, on the first one at like 9, and then the second one straight after. 3 pallets of cakes. This is the shipper that doesn't call you, he phones you. He always messages me on WhatsApp and says, are you still available, blah blah blah. So yeah, says I'm available, but I just need to know what the goods are, make sure they're not high value. And he said a cake, so I'll take a chance with cakes. Yeah, so that's it for tomorrow. So I can't really count that as today's job. It's kind of like a half and half job, I think, in terms of time. So that was 50 quid job. If I count that as split between the 2 days, so that's 25 quid each. So I've done 45 quid for the first job today, 30 quid for the second, and half of the job I got on board is 25 quid. That comes to £100 for the day. Whoopie-doo, yeah, brilliant. But better than nothing. That's takings, of course. So I've got my costs to come out of there, tax to come out of there. Started work about 7:30, and I finished about 4:30. That includes getting to the first pickup and driving home 10 minutes from this pickup I just done. In terms of pounds per mile, by the time I've finished this job tomorrow, I'm going to be on £125 for 69 miles. So yeah, that's £1.81. So that's the only way local jobs really pay off, is pounds per mile is like really high. But obviously you're not earning, that's really quiet, so better than nothing. So not a great start to the week, but more than likely going to be hitting the flex in the car if it stays like this Thursday, Friday, and do a bit Saturday possibly. I did say a while ago, because it's so quiet and I'm not earning a great deal, I'd start doing 6 days a week, but it hasn't really happened because stuff on the weekends, and obviously the Swift I bought needed quite a lot of work, so I've been doing quite a bit of work on that on the weekends, replacing stuff that's worn out pretty much. So I just did a brake caliper yesterday and pads and discs, and so now it's kind of at a stage where nothing needs doing on it, kind of urgent sort of thing. So might work a bit more between now and the end of March at least. That's it. So that's the first part of the week, Monday, and shocking fuel prices and plans for the week and my thinking behind all that. So yeah, that's Monday done. Right, a during the day update, which generally means the feed's quiet. I'm going to go in the shade over here. Yeah, so it's about 12:30 now, just after midday. So I got a job off this morning, actually about 9:30. I did my second drop, and I managed to get a job pretty much straight after. Min charge, long wheelbase job, 14 miles loaded, 16 miles to get to it because I was in West Brom and I had to go to like the other side of Birmingham within the CAS, so it was like going up and around the M6 down the A38 from Spaghetti Junction and that. Pretty straightforward. Got there 4 plastic sheets, kind of plastic sheets from an engineering workshop to some factory over there, Drayton Manor Business Park. So right next to that is Drayton Manor, like outdoor centre, like outdoor fun place. And they got roller coasters and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that was probably an hour and a half ago. So I'm not far from Tamworth now, sort of Tamworth area. Bid on a few jobs, but like nothing I've been really like in a good position to take, but not got anything as yet. So I'm only account 25 quid half of yesterday's job or this morning's job, plus 40. I'm on 65 now by midday. It's obviously not great. Yeah, so that's about it so far. Yeah, it's just quite nice really to go for a bit of a walk by the canal. While I was bidding for jobs earlier today, obviously spring's in the air now, weather's getting better and pathways are drying up and stuff, so yeah, that's a positive. Possibly the only positive from today. Well, yes, that's the only work I did. So when did I film that? About lunchtime-ish, midday-ish. Sat around there, that part of the world. I did move just down a road, like a mile, just for a change of scenery. But yeah, that's all I got. Obviously, I'm only staying local, so I was only bidding on jobs within the West Midlands, and there wasn't really many jobs that came up from that area within the West Midlands. So it tends to be jobs a bit further away, so it all kind of speculative, bit of a punt. The quotes I put in and didn't get any of them. There were jobs that came up going, further afield, some decent jobs. So if I was not in a normal tramping mode, I would have been bidding on them, but I'm not this week. I'm just staying local given the fuel price. Yeah, so I basically didn't get any extra job today. I drove home 13 miles empty, so it's pretty close to home anyway. So yeah, this stay local, see what happens. I did it last week and it wasn't great, but it was better than it has been so far this week. 2 days in now, so I've done across the 2 days, because one job was split between the 2 days. I've done £165, so I could earn more than £165 doing Amazon in my car and have just the fuel costs really, because it's, well, lower cost at least, and not put miles on the van. But as I said before, Amazon Flex is only so many hours you can do a week. I think it's 24, so I'm planning to do definitely Thursday. I've got booked in Friday, and I'll do what I can Saturday. So tomorrow I'm going to crack on as I am doing this. Another stay local day and see what happens. And then from Thursday it will be on the flex. If I'm not doing very well tomorrow and I'm closest to home in the afternoon, this van, it's kind of halfway between its manufacturer's services. It's on almost 62,000 miles now, so it's halfway between its 50 and 75 pretty much. So I normally change your oil and oil filter at about that mileage so it gets done every like 12,500 miles. So yes, that's what I'll probably do tomorrow. If I don't get a good day by the afternoon or just sat around, I'm just going to come back and just get change your oil on this. At least I'm doing something productive. So yeah, pretty downbeat right now, to be honest. Bit of a, yeah, not a great day. Gonna go for a run now, get some endorphins, cheer me up a bit hopefully. I did have one call about a job. So as I said, a lot of the jobs were bidding on were a bit speculative because I was quite far from them or whatever. A minimum charge job came up from B11 Tyseley, which is sort of like to the east of Birmingham Centre, going to Ulster, which is like south of Redditch. So it's 23 point something miles loaded, and I was about 18 miles from it. So I thought, well, 40 quid doesn't really cut it because it's taken me like quite far from home. It's like within my West Midlands working bubble, if you like, right on the edge. So I quoted 45, and the shipper did ring me, and I knew if they were going to ring me, they'd try and knock me on price and knock me a lot, because this shipper's renowned for not paying very well, especially for shorter jobs. They're okay, I think, on longer jobs, but most of their work is short jobs. Yeah, and he says, oh yeah, so you put a quote in for this. I was wondering if you could help me out on the price. That's what he said, help me out. And I thought that's an interesting choice of language words. I've only got 30 on the job. So it's a long wheelbase job, 23 point something miles for 30 quid. No, no, I'm just never going to do that. I might do a small van job for 30 quid if it was less miles than that probably, and I was closer to it. But, you know, you just can't make money at that. It's just wasting your time. So I just said, no, I can't go that low, and then that was the end of it. But it's just can you help me out with the price? I mean, you know, we're in business, I'm in business, he's in business, or the company works for in business. Help you out is kind of like a favour, isn't it? You're not doing a favour for someone. You know, it needs to be a sort of viable business transaction between both parties. So help me out, I just don't get it. Kind of, yeah. But anyway, that's them, and didn't do it. I was never going to do it, so glad I didn't do it. And that was to the end of Tuesday. Right, Wednesday now, 5 p.m. Still working. High vis on. If anyone's been here before, I think you can possibly tell. Does anyone know where I am? JCB. So yeah, still working. JCB Compact Products and Earth Movers. So yeah, it's my third job of today. So this morning I started looking for jobs about 8. Did plan to do about 7:30, but you know, typical for me. A bit later than starting as usual. Definitely not a morning person. But I got a job pretty much straight away. No, I didn't actually. It was about an hour. So it was just after 9 I got the job. First job. £40 min charge job. It's only like 5 miles and I was 7 miles from it. And this is one, you know, 40 quid long wheelbase job, 5 miles. This guy wasn't asking me to help him out with the price. He was just you know, accept it. Well, actually I rang them because it was on his phone's ring. No e-quotes, just ring. And he just says, yeah, that seemed reasonable, 40 quid. So that was nice. Hardly mega bucks. And I went and picked it up. What was it? Can't remember now. A few pallets over to, God, I can't remember now. Anyway, did that one, and then actually got a job yeah, straight after that one this year, I just checked the feed before I pulled out of the place, bid on a job, another minimum charge job. This one is a few more miles than this one, so I quoted 40 quid again, and it was 30 miles including getting there. I think it was 8 miles to get there, and then the rest were loaded. 40 quid up to Lichfield, again from sort of probably in the Cas again, in the Cas in Birmingham, but like one of these industrial areas within the Cas on the outskirts. Seems to have been a lot this week, and then last week maybe, was it? And then so that put me Lichfield, an industrial estate. That was an interesting job actually. It was just boxes, that one. Had to handball on and off, but you know, it didn't take too long. And at the tipping point, yeah, there was a couple of nice ladies there, and they were like, "Oh yes, thank God we got a nice young man today." They kept calling me young man. Yeah, they were saying these two ladies, they had a courier turn up last week, and basically it was just handballing boxes off like this one. It took, between the three of us, it took 10 minutes. I was just putting them through the back door and they were taking them into the unit. But apparently a guy turned up last week, and he apparently wasn't a very nice chap, and totally refused to do anything and just says, "I just drive the van." As for you to do that, and just sat in his van, and generally he's unpleasant, so I just don't think there's any need for that. As a courier, you do more than drive a van, you know, or drive a vehicle. It's part of the job in my view, as long as it's not out of like too much or takes a long time. So you're better off just to crack on and get it done and get on to your next job. But it's different if it's like alcohol and like loads of heavy graft, and you know it's going to be a thing, then they should really mention it. Or like, you know, a whole kitchen or something like that, because it's likely going to take more than a half hour. So anyway, that was that job. So tipped that at 12:30, so I had my lunch, and then it took me 2.25 hours to get another job. And I was thinking, I was in sort of not too far from where I was yesterday in Tamworth, because I was in Lichfield. I thought, was it going to be like yesterday? I sit here all afternoon and just drive home empty. Bid on a few jobs local, didn't get them, and then I bid on a job from up the road to the south of Burton-on-Trent, or just about in Burton-on-Trent maybe. And I knew from the shipper and where it was going to ST10. Just know it's going to be JCB. So I thought, well, beggars can't be choosers this time at the moment. So yeah, I don't know, but I quoted 50 quid for it, and I think, yeah, all miles is 35 miles, 27 miles loaded. And I got the job, went to pick it up, and it's one of these ones where you got the name of the company you're picking up from, but that name of the company is part of a large group. I've had this a few times, and there was no signs. There's loads of different units on this site, like a big complex with loads of different divisions of this bigger company. Looks like they do all sorts of manufacturing and remanufacturing of train parts and all sorts, by the looks of it, and the industrial stuff. And yeah, just couldn't find a place. It took me about a quarter of an hour, you know, stopping and asking people to eventually get to the right place. So there's a 15 minutes delay, and it's not really my fault. It's kind of like the address they're given, you know. The customers give the shipper probably. And then when I got to the thing, it said 1 pallet and 600 kilograms, and that caused a lot of confusion, because it wasn't 1 pallet and 600 kilograms, actually 4 UK pallets, which come to 600 kilograms, which I can't obviously take, but they said, "Oh, no worry, we'll just double stack one." So that's what I got on board. I got 4 pallets, 2 double stacked, and 2 just loaded normally. And it's not going to compact products, JCB, it's going to earth movers, which is where I'm sat now. Behind me is earth movers, and behind the phone behind you is Compact Products, so it's the same site, so it doesn't really matter too much, and the delivery point's the same for both. So I'm here now. So I had like 50 minutes in total to get loaded from when I got to the, the postcode and the address given, the industrial estate business park place. So that was 50 minutes. That's 20 minutes over. So I give 60 minutes, 30 minutes each, or 60 minutes between the two. So I've got unless I got tipped here in 10 minutes, which is very unlikely, into waiting time. So I rang them after 10 minutes and says we're into waiting time now. And as it happens, I'm still sat here probably 15 minutes later, maybe 20 minutes later. I've got one of me buzzers. If you've been here before, you'll know about these. This is like when you go to the go to eat out, and they give you one of these when your table's ready. It's exactly the same thing. So this will buzz when they're ready for me. Then I go take this back to the office hut thing in the corner, and then I can go in after. They give me a pass to go in the gate, I think, and then I go in. And then I get the forklift guy to stamp. In JCB, they normally stamp your paperwork. We've got 8 copies of paperwork. So I think with the shipper, thankfully, it's emailed invoices and pods. So I don't have to put 8 pieces of paper in the post and worry about being overweight for a letter. So yeah, see how long I'm here now. So in some ways, it's not bad if I get like 20 quid. 15-20 quid waiting time, that'll boost the day up, because at the moment on that 50 quid and 240s 130 for the day, we get another 20 quid up to 150, then it's a bit less of a better day, especially after yesterday. So anyway, that's where that's going to be. I'm not going to do any more jobs today, so that's to the end of Wednesday, and this is my last day doing van work on the run on the CX. Rest of this week, definitely Monday, Thursday, Friday. And then maybe I'll do some on Saturday as well. I'm going to do Amazon Flex. Right, midday on the Thursday now. I've not earned anything as yet. So today, look, on paper was like all set up. So I had 3 blocks on Amazon Flex for the day booked in. I had one at 8:15 in Droitwich, one at 1 o'clock in Droitwich. And then a 2-hour Amazon Flex groceries, which we're collecting from Morrison's in Bromsgrove, like late afternoon, early evening. So that was like my full 8 hours booked in for the day. 8 hours is the most you can do in the day on Flex. But it all went a bit Pete Tong this morning, so it's normally about 35, sometimes between 35 and 40 minute drive from home to the Droitwich depot. So I normally account for an hour to get there, which I did today. So I left the house at 7:15. It was saying 45 minutes, so I should have got there at 8. So there was a bit of delay even then when I left the house. And instead of going onto the M6 and then straight onto the M5 south, showing there's congestion there. So to go sort of through Sandwell area and get on at junction 1 of the M5. So that's what I did, because it was the quickest route on Google Maps. But when I got to junction 1 on the queuing to get onto the M5 at junction 1, just there was this like pretty much standstill traffic, like incredibly slow, and then the traffic lights were changing from red to green, and then we just weren't moving still. So it was just all backed up, and there was traffic backed up going into West Brom, and it just made junction 1 a complete gridlock pretty much. So it got to my ETA being 8:20 was the latest I could be there, and my ETA to the depot got to 8:25, and then I was still stuck in that traffic, so I just had to forfeit the block. And within my 45 minutes of collection, so that's a late forfeit or late cancellation, so that'll work against me in my Amazon stats. And if you cock up your stats too much, then you get kicked off, so that's not a good thing. So I was pretty annoyed this morning, like really frustrated, but that's the problem with doing this. I've had it before, because the M5 joining the M6, and just generally the M6 in Birmingham, it's like one of the most congested and traffic hotspots for the whole country, isn't it, in terms of motorway network and just generally. So yeah, I don't know. So that's kind of, I had to forfeit that block, and then it wasn't worth me driving all the way down to Droitwich and stuff just to do what was left in the day, so I cancelled them, and then I managed to book in a food delivery instead, 12:30 from Amazon Prime Now Erdington, which is groceries again, but it's not on Morrison's. So before they started doing Morrison's, I used to do Prime Now deliveries, which is groceries. So there's only one of these that I can do in my area, which is Erdington. So I've got a 2-hour block from here, 12:30 till 2:30, and then I've got a block booked in from one of the new Amazon logistics in sort of Tyseley B11 from 3:30, 3 hours, £43.50. So I'm just kind of doing what I can today now. So I wasn't sure if I was going to work Saturday. I'm pretty sure I'll have to work Saturday now. I don't really have to, but I just want to earn some money this week because it hasn't been so good so far. So I just like to keep the money coming in, really. Not as if I'm, the wolf's at the door or anything, but yeah, I think I'll be working Saturday now. So we're a bit peed off today. That's the thing with traffic in these Amazon blocks, and if you can't make it to the thing, then you're screwed, really. But I'm going to do this block, see where it finishes me up, where I'm going, and I might just cancel that parcel delivery in the afternoon and see if I can get some more Amazon grocery deliveries, either Morrison's or back here Prime Now, because it used to be the case where they weren't so much worth doing compared to parcel delivery, because if it's a 2-hour block of grocery delivery, it normally takes quite often it takes you 2 hours. I used to find, whereas the Amazon parcel delivery, it might be like a 3.5 hour block, and it would take me like 2.5, and the rate's about the same per hour. So I always used to favour doing the parcels, but now because they've been really tight and shortened the length of the parcel blocks, but everything else has stayed the same as number of parcels and stuff, they're kind of on a par. And if you do these grocery blocks, even though they're short, the max you can do is 2 hours. Obviously you can do more of them in a day if you can get them. You might only have like 3 or 4 drops, and it's a lot more chilled out and relaxed, I find. So these go really quick on the app compared to the parcels. Definitely I start struggling to get people to do the parcel ones, I think, now, even though it's a quiet time of year for parcels still. I'm seeing, especially the evening blocks in some depots, they're struggling to shift them. I think it's just because they've gone too far with reducing the hours, so I'm hoping it's bitten them in the arse and they're going to have to go back to doing it. So, maybe even extend it again. That'll be good. Power to the people. The flexes, yeah. But anyway, that's where I am so far. Right, still Thursday. Managed to kind of salvage today a bit, but I meant to say earlier about yesterday, because my last update yesterday I was at JCB waiting. I was waiting for a little bit at the tip, and as I said, there was like I was there at the pickup for 50 minutes. So it was like 20 minutes at pickup as well. So I did get waiting time. I rang them up at the end and said there's like 35 minutes this side, and then there was 20 minutes at pickup, so it's like 55 minutes. And the guy says, okay, we'll just call it a full hour. But they did question why I was delayed at the pickup, even though I'd rang them to tell them there was issues with their job notes, basically, as I went through. So yeah, it goes on a full hour, so that's the full £12.50, and a full £12.50. Says, is that really what you pay us? Says, it's a bit low. And he says, well, what do you usually charge? And he says, well, my which is true. I says, my thing on the CX is £20 an hour. I'm a long wheelbase van, but I'll just take 15. 12.50 is a bit taking the piss, really. 15's, I reckon, is the minimum you need for a waiting time, really, in any van, because you're not just paying for your time, they're paying for the van to be sat there and still got your overheads and stuff. But yeah, he was fine with £15 an hour, so he updated it, and I got that, so I bumped that job up from 50 to 65, which made it 145 for the day, so my best day in the van of the week. And then extra 15 quid kind of paid for me to sort of get home with the extra money on that job anyway, so it's worked out right. Pence per mile yesterday, about 180 or something. And then yeah, so this morning obviously went terribly wrong, didn't it? And then I had this plan B was, well, last time I said I was waiting to pick up in Erdington block, 2-hour block, food block. I was quite surprised when it pinged across the notifications. I had one delivery to do, just south of central Birmingham, sort of student area. And I thought, it's going to either be really good or really bad, because that's it, and it's a good one, or they call me back and give me more. So I did the one. It said for me to go back to a depot, which I'm not sure if some people said in the last time I did this you can get away with it only being one. I thought I'll go back anyway and sat there, and then yeah, didn't get pinged for any more jobs. So it was about 8 miles there, 8 miles back, 16 miles. It's only 30 quid, like, but it took me like less than an hour, really. That. And I was sat there trying to, as I said earlier, do I stick with the parcel one I had booked from Tyseley, B11, or do I, that's like stick the safe option, or do I twist, cancel that and see what else comes up? So I did actually twist, and I cancelled it. I managed to get another 1 hour block from Erdington doing groceries, Prime Now, between 3 and 4, which I've just done. And that one was one delivery again, about 5 minutes down the road from the depot in Erdington. So I'd done that in about 15 minutes, 20 minutes max, and then that's it for that one. So that's turned out quite well, and I got quite lucky and saved the salvage today, because another one pinged up parcels from Tyseley B11, 3-hour block, which I think here normally pays £43.50, but this one for some reason paid 60 quid. I managed to get it, so that's going to be 105 for the day, plus the VAT bonus, of course, on top of that. So that kind of salvaged the day, and I'm not going to do so many miles because I haven't gone all the way down to Droitwich. I just got that black mark against me this morning for a late cancellation, but really I could have gone left home even earlier, but you know, you can't. I think I was early enough anyway. It's just horrendous traffic, but anyhow. So I'm going to get this done tonight now. Can't pick it up. It's a 5:30 block, so I can't pick it up till 5:15. So I've got about an hour to kill time now. So I'll be watching some crap on YouTube, and then that's it for today. Check this out. Amazon's new, what looks like to be purpose-built distribution centre. Yeah, that was like the first block I've picked up from that Amazon depot, a new one, Tyseley, sort of like B11 somewhere, Birmingham, so just to like the east of Birmingham centre really. And yeah, that's the third sort of newish one I've been to now in the Birmingham area, or one's in Redditch, and they've obviously been built so where your load is undercover, so that one's like an outside canopy. The other two new ones I've been to, you actually go inside the unit, which is a really good thing, because the older places, like the ones that have been on it for ages, like Banbury, Wednesbury, Stoke, Droitwich, which they call Worcester, you get your load outside, and when it's raining, it's a right pain, obviously, because you're loading in the pissing rain sometimes, and it's no good for the people who work in these places either, and the packages get wet, and it means they can't bring them out until you're actually there, and it kind of delays everything. So it's good that these new ones you get loaded undercover. Yeah, and yeah, so that was it for well, that wasn't it, that was Thursday. So finished that on the Thursday, and then Friday I did 3 Amazon blocks, 2 parcel blocks out of Droitwich, which again they call Worcester. Did a morning and then an early afternoon one, and then I did a Amazon Morrison's block, 1.5 hours I think it was, yeah, out of Bromsgrove, which is kind of down that part of the world anyway, so it's quite close to that one. So that made for 7.5 hours of Amazon, which is, yeah, about 115 quid or something, £112.50. But that was it. And then I planned to do the same yesterday. I planned to do a 6-day week this week. So I had the 2 parcel blocks again out of Droitwich booked in for the Saturday, like at 8:15, and then at 1 o'clock. But when I woke up on the Saturday, I saw I had an email from Amazon saying, Amazon Flex, saying my first block had been cancelled. I've never had that before. So I thought, hey, what's going on here? So I read the email, thinking, you know, are they going to like shaft me a bit here? But no, it says a block's been cancelled. There's no need to turn up, but I will still be paid. So happy days. So that's a nice freebie from Amazon. And then it kind of made it not really worthwhile driving down there to do the early afternoon block. So I just sacked it off, and that was 51 quid for the 3.5 hour block that they cancelled. So it's all profit, of course, because I didn't leave the house and it's just in the car. So got no fixed costs in the car because it's just my normal vehicle, car, personal use. So, you know, can't count insurance, tax and stuff. So that was a nice little bonus. And then yesterday afternoon, I just changed the oil on this van. Did an engine oil flush as well. It's on 62,000 miles now, which is halfway between the 50 and the 75. So I've been changing it halfway between the, you know, the manufacturer's services when I take it to Nissan. And I also checked the brake pads, because last time it went in for a service, just after 50 it was, they said it was close to needing front and rear. And I checked them. There's still a fair bit of life in the pads, but they're strange really, because they've got wear indicators. It looks close to the wear indicator, but the pads are only like half worn. So I'm going to leave them. Hopefully get towards 70,000 miles out of the pads, the original pads of course. I'm doing lots of obviously motorway and A-road driving. If I was doing multi-drop, pads would never last that long, because that's really hard on brakes. If I can get close to like 70,000 and change them then, it means hopefully they're not due for another 70-ish thousand miles again, which means if I do sell this van end of this year or beginning of next, I'll sell it before having to put more pads on. And I always find that basically you get, next time it needs pads after this time, it'll need discs as well, because generally you get 2 sets of pads to one set of discs, I find. So yeah, I wouldn't really want to put pads and discs on it all around just before selling it, you know what I mean? So that'll be the plan. So hopefully I can get up to like 70-ish thousand. I'll change them when the wear indicator light comes on. I'll change them straight away. So that's the job out. Should be simple enough. I cursed it now. There's only pads at the end of the day. So yeah, that was it. Still a bit of a struggle this week. So kind of worked, even though the Saturday was a freebie, 5.5 days. So I went through my CX earnings as I did it, so I won't go through that again. But my after costs for the 3 days was £250 my earnings. That was staying local, trying to stay local, sort of mainly min charge jobs when it's really quiet, 'cause it's still really quiet. And obviously I knew I wouldn't earn great money, but it's just something really keeps the miles down on a van, a pence per mile high. Yeah, so I haven't actually worked a pence per mile out in the van, but I could have done, couldn't I? So yeah, 125 plus 90 plus 145, that's what I earned in the van. And I did 225 miles in the van, so I might put it on the screen afterwards what the pence per mile was in the van. So 250 for them 3 days, that's my sort of profit. So not my take home, but I've obviously got tax and national insurance to come out of that, being a sole trader. And then the flex, 2.5 days of flex, or 2 days with a bonus half day for nothing, He earned £245. So you said I'm probably doing better, still doing better out of flex than I am instead working like that, local jobs in the van as it is at the moment. Yeah, so that was earnings for the week, and a bit about where the van's at in terms of its maintenance and service. So not great, of course, still a struggle, but I am starting to feel a bit more optimistic about things. Maybe it's just the change in the weather, and spring's here now, and clocks are changing next weekend, and it's quite nice weather. It was beautiful yesterday when I was doing a van, like t-shirt weather was great. So that's obviously perking me up a bit. And I also think people say from Easter it really starts to pick up. So Easter was that late March, which kind of coincides with we're getting close-ish now to the end of the financial year, which is quite, you do see on a CX it gets busier towards the end of each quarter, business quarter. At the end of a financial year, I know this when I used to work for big companies and stuff, they want to get stuff ordered in and paid for if they've got remaining budget in this financial year. I was speaking to somebody a few weeks back, and I commented about the sheer amount of roadworks there seem to be at the moment. And he says, yeah, it's because it's getting close towards the end of the financial year. So, councils and stuff have got budget remaining. So they want to get this spent this year, because once it goes into next year, it kind of disappears from their budget, and it might mean they get less budget the following year. That's how it used to work, place I worked. So, like in January, February, March, we used to have loads of contractors in just doing general building maintenance and stuff. And it was a real big push to get the budget spent, because we knew if we didn't spend it, obviously, it's a wasted budget. And if the people who set our budgets, if they saw that we didn't spend it, they think, oh, we don't need it, and then they'll cut it for next year. So I think it works a lot of places like that, which means people want to get stuff, goods delivered for jobs, or it might not be maintenance, it might be something else. They just want goods delivered so they can get the proof of delivery, and then they can invoice the company for it in this financial year. So if it's kind of becomes a bit of a rush job and get it done before the end of the financial year, these jobs are more likely to go on, courier and same day and that kind of thing. They'll pay the extra for a dedicated van just to get it there, so they can invoice it this year and stuff. So hopefully towards the end of March, beginning of April, obviously, and 5th of April is the end of the financial year, it should have a bit of a surge, I'm hoping. And then it'll be kind of kickstart the year. That's what I'm hoping. That's being a bit optimistic. So a bit of a review now of like the first 3 months so far this year, January, February, March. Towards the end of last year, I didn't think it was that busy. It actually, the end of August into September, made a step change. It got a lot quieter than it was in August. And then it kind of stayed steady, and then it picked up in November to December. Just a bit of a Christmas, slight getting busier, but not a great deal. So I was kind of hoping, it's quite not particularly busy anyway. So I was kind of hoping, and I did say in my videos, I hope it doesn't die off too much because it's not particularly busy. That's what I was hoping the end of last year. Turned out not to be the case. It did get really quiet, noticeably quiet than it was in December, and it's been a real struggle as we've watched these vlogs, which is kind of partly why I'm doing the flex and stuff more. So yeah, it has been a struggle. Nothing more to say about that really. If you watch the vlogs, you've seen how much of a struggle it's been, but a bit optimistic going forward. Yeah, so that's kind of where I am really. Let's hope it gets busier. I'm looking forward, now the weather's improving, to if it does get busy and I can earn decent money again by getting out and tramping. And once the clock's changing, it's lighter in the evenings, it means wherever I tip up at the end of the night, I can have a bit of a mooch around and kind of enjoy that and then adventure it a bit. It's no fun tramping through winter when it gets dark and stuff early, but before Christmas when you're still earning good money, it's kind of like worth it. but when it gets to where it's been January, February, March, I was finding out tramping, I was still earning crap money, so my motivation for tramping was really low. This is where I did a lot less. And even if I learn less, staying local and stuff and doing Amazon, it means I get a period where I get to stay at home a bit more within the year, which is no bad thing. Get some things done and just a bit of a break from the tramping lifestyle. So that's it. Thanks for watching. It's actually turned out to be quite a long vlog. Hopefully, the next week I'm not vlogging. The week after, hopefully it'll be like a full week, possibly. But I'm probably still going to do some Amazon Flex, just because I know I'll get paid out before the end of this financial year, which means it'll kind of boost up my earnings for this financial year, which is kind of, as I mentioned before, it's going to be quite important for me getting a mortgage from April onwards. So that's probably why I'll stick with the Amazon until late March, and then early April try and go back onto the CX full-time Monday to Friday. So that's it. As ever, please like and subscribe. Any comments, please put them below for my benefit or anyone else who watches, and cheers for watching.